came up as an MC. I don't know if you noticed the John Dewey location I kept throwing up, you know, because you paid some.
That's me. Dewey all day.
Salute to Dewey, and you know, you're in Brooklyn, and you know, I know your thing. For a moment, I seen some things like Coney Island's finest, and it's crazy because Jay-Z and Biggie do Brooklyn's finest, the song, but they don't mention Coney Island on the song.
You know, I asked Clark Kent about that because Clark Kent produced it, and he's the one who's shouting out all the parts of Brooklyn. And when I started working with Clark years ago, I was like, yo, fam, how y'all left out Coney Island? Like,
yeah, I filed a lawsuit. That's it.
I filed a lawsuit. Wow, disrespectful.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We're going to do this, but it is in the way you want to show off your gems. There is no pressure in this sense. You could just explain, walk us through, no rush, go for it and show off your gems.
All right. I didn't know exactly what to bring out, so I just started like thinking about shit that I would think was cool.
Yes.
So like these DJ Premier Air Force Ones, I think are super cool. You remember when Preem did these?
Yes.
Yeah, so they say Premier in the back, and they got.
Could you bring that closer to the camera?
To the community. They got the year-round logo there. It says Premier in the back. So these are the DJ Premier Air Force Ones. They got Premier on the lace tips. Like
I love
pretty
it.
Crazy. And they super hip hop, right? I was like, yeah, what's more hip hop than Preem and his Air Force Ones?
Hold on.
So there's that.
That's really nice.
What other gems do I have? I got this from Spike Lee. This is the book that they had with. Can you see a signature there in the X? So it's signed by Spike.
If you explain it, yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, just take my word for it. But this is it has all the photos. So like this is the cast of the movie Malcolm X, and it just got a bunch of different like shots from the filming of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when he was praying.
Stills, yes.
And yeah, just a bunch of different stills from that time. It's like Spike and Mandela. Like it's an ill book. Shout out to my man Jason from 40 Acres and a Mule who was able to get this for me. And I hold this man dear.
That's beautiful. Heart. I mean, you know, the movie wasn't gonna get finished unless Jordan, Oprah, and Denzel like helped fund the film.
They had to finish funding it, which is super.
For everybody to understand what Brooklyn was like in a certain era of Do the Right Thing, when the film was done and released, New York City gave a plaque. They put a plaque on the building where you know Mama D had lived, you know, to represent that the film was done here. The next day, somebody stole the plaque. So,
this is New York
welcome
City.
to Brooklyn.
This is New York City. Speaking of that, right? Let me go grab these. It's funny you would mention New York City and stealing. So, shout out to Jay Shells. Jay Shells does something amazing with the signs, the rap quotes, right? So he'll take if you quote anywhere, or do you have the book? If you quote any place in your verses, he'll go out and make an actual street sign and put it up there. So he did a short-lived series with Red Bull TV, and I was in the pilot episode. Myself, Joey Badass, Masta Ace, and Beat Miners. So we did Brooklyn. And these are my actual signs from the lyrics. Nice. So this one says, how you thinking he got his inspiration right up the block from the Cyclone and Nathan's?
Woof.
And so this is like official metal, like official tissue joint.
Yes.
And Jay Shells, this one was mine, but Jay Shells also put one up by the Cyclone, right there where I said the verse at. He put it up right there on the Cyclone. And I would say it lasted about a week. You know what I'm saying? I would say it lasted about a week. There's also this one, Neptune, Mermaid, and Surf. Most dudes disperse my turf in a hearse. You know, I'm from Coney Island, so I got my Coney Island vibe. Come on,
yes,
I need
that's
you to help me.
Beautiful.
Actually. So yeah, definitely shout out to the rap quotes and Jay Shaw. I love these. Once I finish my basement, those will be up.
I love it. So to let everybody know, Jay Shells, he would tell me, he's like, yo, these things aren't cheap to produce. So, you know, he did them, and he did it for the cause of wonderful hip hop. So this is a book done by the gentleman that we're talking about. It's the rap quotes Coast to Coast. It's the story of the signs that he did, released by Document Press. And you guys could check more information on what we're talking about on the show. But that's spectacular. So you do a little series with Ace, Joey Badass, and all that. Could you let us know the breaks opportunity? Did that come out of nowhere? How did that happen?
That happened. Shout to Fonte, a little brother, who's one of my bros in this hip hop thing. They were using Fonte to write. You know, the show was based on hip hop. The summer of 1990, Mac Wiles was in it. Shout out to Antoine Harris. Shout out to Afton. Just everybody who was involved. Steve Dan, everybody, right? And Fonte was writing the lyrics. They were looking for a muscular, like, no-nonsense kind of MC to play this role, to battle the lead guy. And Fonte said, I think I know the perfect guy. And so he called me, and I remember it was a rare time I was out. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I happened to be out. And I was like, why's Fonte calling me at this hour? And he was like, yo, Tor, I just got off the phone with some directors. I don't know if you're interested, but if you are, there's an opportunity for you to audition for this role. And I was like, hell yeah. I had to audition the next day. I didn't have much prep time. I was already out in the wee hours of the morning. But I went in, I auditioned, I landed the role, and yeah, I got a chance to play 6 Hour in the break. And then I also worked on the series. So they first did the movie with VH1, right, and then they got a season, and we did the series, and I was a lyrics coach, so I worked with like Tiana Taylor and Dave East and everybody, just making sure like the authenticity was right. And, you know, it was a dope time. Actually, Taylor, can you pass me that right there where it says the breaks? Yeah. And then there should also be like a little flyer or something over there. Since you mentioned the breaks, I just need that top sheet.
Yee!
Since you mentioned the breaks, this is actually the call sheet.
Yeah!
The original call sheet from my time on set. And I kept it because it meant so much to me. Yeah, that paper right there. And then
beautiful. See, I told you had jams, bro. These are great.
One of the flyers from the break, the promo, you know, this was all over the city. VH1 spent that bread, so shout out to everybody who was a part of it. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking I was gonna bring that out, but since you mentioned it, yeah, here's the actual call sheet that I was like, wow, this is really real.
Well, that's beautiful. Congratulations on that look. A lot of the hip hop fans out there who love authenticity, we're always happy when we see someone who's authentic get a look like that. Because it's a, you know, it's true success, and it's a corporation buying into an idea that, you know, when they get a real person who's part of the culture, it's a great thing. You know, you land on your government name, Torae, which is beautiful. But aside from that, what phases do we go through as an MC?
Yo, I think I had this conversation the other day. I talked about some of I didn't have many aliases or tags or rap names, but I had a few, and they were terrible. So I was in a group with my man Robert, and we were positive neg. You know, I was positive, he was negative, so he was positive neg. It was very gimmicky. Super horrible.
Nice.
Spice. I went by Spice for a while. Because, like, all the cool dudes in my neighborhood, they had ICE. It was like Slice, Ice, Nice. So I was Spice. I wanted to...
Why not?
Why not?
Let's go.
I was Spice T. Another terrible name. And lastly, I was Czar. My man,
Don?
Czar. C-Z-A-R. Because my last name is Carr, right? So
right.
Carr. So my man was like, yo, you should just call yourself Czar. And I looked it up, and it meant like ruler and king and all of that. And I was like, I'm like, yo, I'm the czar. I'm the czar of the boss.
Yo, you made me read. Now I know what czar is.
Yo, what? Come on, mad vocabulary. And then ultimately, I landed on my government name because it was the best of the 4.
Yeah. And it's good, and definitely in that time, it's more of a bold statement unless you're looking at Eric Sermon, Keith Murray, and then, you know, Reggie Noble, of course, Redman. But it kind of gives you the confidence to be like, maybe I could just run with Torae, bro. Why not?
Yeah, you know, really what it was like, I just realized, I was like, I don't really do anything gimmicky. Like, I don't give you any facade or persona. Like, I'm Torae, in the booth, out the booth. Wherever you catch me, I'm the same guy for the most part. So I figured, why not just be myself? Plus, my name is unique enough.
Right. And then, you know, unfortunately, in the journalism world, there's another freaking Torae.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. Awesome. Continue on. So, you know, you're paying your dues, you putting your work in, and what I have to say that I admire a lot is that what a lot of people say is to invest in yourself. And you, someone who did that young, like you did that early, even before Marco Polo stepped into the picture and you know, gave you some of his Canadian privilege.
Right.
You know.
Right. Before he brought whiteness into the fold.
And you and Skyzoo were homies. You were partners in rhyme, you know, at these early years, and then you took it serious, which is great. And when do you feel like you started coming into some foundation for yourself as a you know, Torae the artist? Like, I'm taking this kind of serious.
Like, I would say 2005, 2006 is when I really was like, yo, I got to give it like my all. You know, I was working a job up until then, and I was trying to dabble in between paying my phone bill and paying my dues.
Now, were you working with students with school?
I mean, I worked a bunch of jobs though. I worked fast food. You know, like in my teenage years, I worked at McDonald's. I worked at a bank when I was in high school. I went to Dewey. And I worked at a bank one week, and I went to school one week. It was a co-op program.
Yeah.
When I graduated Dewey.
Fun fact, as a McDonald's employee, J. Ruta Damager and Master Killer worked together at McDonald's at the same time in East New York.
Motherfuckers was rapping burgers and spitting balls. Shout out to both of those brothers.
So
the good borough of Brooklyn.
What I noticed, I guess around this time, that's when you get with Marco. Is this where the duck down thing happens?
We signed a duck down in we dropped in 2009. So we either signed early 2009 or late 2008. But I remember, like, we finalized the deal. I was already on tour. I was on tour in Poland when we were like getting the deal points back and forth,
nice,
and going back and forth. So I was already like kind of moving, you know, and that's why Marco took interest, and that's why Duck Down took interest. Because really the records that broke through was Click and Get It Done, produced by DJ Premier. When those dropped in 2006, you know, that's when the lights really came on.
And then, you know, the opportunity was there. What I had a conversation about with Marco, and from studying you a little bit, was the Double Barrel project was more you being able to kind of be more creative artistically and kind of let Marco produce, like guide a little bit of the project. And I don't know if you know the riff that me and Marco always had, but we got to squash it on this show when he was a guest. So do you have a clue of what our riff was? It has to do with you.
Was it about the set he used you on Party Crashers?
Yes. So, you know, he was like, Torae had nothing to do with that. So, you know, because we did a song called Party Crashers, and then, you know, he ends up cutting my version
with me called Party Crashers.
Yeah, so I'm like, yo, B.
Cut your line. Oh, that's crazy. He never told me that.
Yeah, so he admitted that he was, you know, he should have been better at communicating all that information and stuff like that. But what's crazy is that it comes out and it becomes like a good foundation for you, because the association with Duck Down's a very solid one. But what I love that you just told us that you were already at this moment, you know, benefiting off the fruits of labor, in the sense of being traveling. You was already this artist, already doing this thing. And when do you feel in your career as an MC that you arrived? Like, of course, we're there earlier traveling, which is dope, but that you feel like, okay, I guess New York knows who I am, or the States, because you know, that could matter to an artist.
I don't know if it's happened yet.
Okay. So that's fine. That's fine. I understand that. But I love the integrity that you do have, and I love that you went and you continued back with Skyzoo, and you guys ended up doing the Bauer Brothers, which was good. What I noticed with you musically, though, and I go back to integrity, you created music in the way you wanted to do it. And I say that, and I want everybody to hear this, because he took his career in his own hands. I'm sure he had meetings to want to be an artist of a certain caliber, but he wasn't going to wait for somebody to do it for him. And this is fair to say, but when you was doing it, you created, to me, when I looked at For the Record and a lot of the projects, you kept in line with like the 2000s versions of like the Illmatic aesthetics, also just the boom bap overall 90s aesthetics. And as a businessman, of course, everyone understands we're talking to Torae the artist, but he has so many different hats he wears, like myself. This is why I wanted to have him on. What were the learning curves for that?
Everything was trial and error, to be honest with you. I didn't come into the game wanting to be the CEO of my label. I didn't want an A&R. I didn't want all of the different hats that I ended up wearing. It wasn't because I aspired to do any of that. It was really just like nobody else is here to do it, and so I got to learn it. I got to add it to my skill set. And really, that was it. That was the learning curve for me, was just like getting out there and making it happen. I wasn't going to wait around for people. When I started kind of popping is when the sound started changing, and hip hop was like indie underground, and like the mainstream was like shit like that. I was like, I'm not making none of that shit. So I got to figure out how to make this and still make it. And so, but it was a blessing just to be able to align myself with guys like Masta Ace and EMC, who took me on my first tour. Of course, Preem. You do a record with Preem, and then everybody else starts to take notice. Pete Rock started to take notice, and Diamond D and Large Professor, just like all the guys that I love. And, I always say I'm like a fruit of that little brother Justice League tree, because Khrysis and Ninth and, just the whole crew, LB, they took me under their wing. They did records with me. They gave me production early on. And it really helped me to like tap into their fan bases as well as I was trying to grow mine.
Now we're gonna get into the gems. I
gotta change my view. Hold on. You can continue on with your answer.
So to let everybody know, this show is called Show Off Your Gems. Of course, we have great energy and see, there you go. Now it's gonna be right in your mug, and you're gonna be as amazing as you're intended. Look, see this? That's how you use the lighting in your house, young man.
Look at me.
See, one day we'll learn. So listen. How were you coming up as a MC who loved hip hop when Big L said he's from New York, but he's not a fan of the Knicks?
I mean, I got the bar, but I'm a diehard Knicks fan, so I just would never say it as I was reciting the verse. You know what I mean? L, rest in peace to L, man. He was so great with the punchlines and just like shock value. Like he would say wild shit, so like, you wouldn't expect that line to come after that line, but it did. It's something that we still talk about, you know what I'm saying? But I guess he was right in hindsight.
Yeah, so I'm wearing a Carmelo Anthony All-Star jersey. The only ring New York seen was the one he gave Lala. Would you agree?
That is true.
Which is all in fun to say, but right now, we'll get into some gems and we'll continue with the evolution of the wonderful Torae. So, my brother, but you evolve and this all shows to your hustle, and you go on to SiriusXM. I ended up having to do,
Wait, make some noise for yourself. Thanks to Destroy. He gave me my career in radio.
So, so, you go, it's your hard work. and you push through beyond just the, you know, getting in the door. And that's kind of like what we all have to do. You know what I mean? Like, there is no one person who gets any credit for another person. It's really, you just got to continue busting your butt and showing that you're of quality. And you definitely did that. What was it when you started falling in the personality side of Torae, that empowered you and gave you that confidence?
You know, that was something that I could always do. It wasn't anything that I ever pursued or necessarily wanted to do, but I knew it was a skill set that I had. You know, I always was able to communicate with people, utilize my vocabulary, understand how to drive a conversation, when to take the lead, when to fall back, when to let it flow. So that was always like super easy for me. I guess when you're a communicator and an orator like we are, some of those other things just kind of come natural. And so radio was easy. It was like a natural transition for me to do it. I just mindfully didn't want to do it because I didn't want to confuse the audience. Like, yo, are you a rapper? You a host? You on the radio? You got an album out? You know, it wasn't as acceptable as it is now. Now everybody got a live and got a show. But, you know, when I started it, I've been in radio 10 years now, 11 years now. You know, when I started, it wasn't like the thing to do. But I just kind of understood it was an opportunity to broaden my fan base, to bring some more people into the world of Torae who might not have heard the music or might not have been
for sure.
Or maybe didn't even like the music, but they liked me as a host, you know? So it was just a way to kind of like, I hate to say kill two birds with one stone, but like,
no, it's cool.
Get multiple things accomplished.
It's also maximizing on Torae. You know, for me as an underground MC, people would be like, yo, you know, you're a cool personality. Do you want to host an event? And then that transition to what I ended up doing.
Right.
But it's always good to see, you know, like you know, myself, who you know, who else is out there? You got Joe Budden who does it,
right. Joe,
on
Rob
his
Markman,
level. Yeah, Rob definitely did that. So, you know, it's really good to see that there is a community out there of guys who kind of was like, no. So, you know, with that being said, we all like to say, or some people like to say, you wasn't there. You wasn't there, right? So what is a story you could tell me where you were there?
Man, so many. What can I tell you? I could tell you about the time, rest in peace to my brother Sean Price, that Babu had reached out to Sean to get on, I think it was Duck Season maybe 2 or 3, and Sean, that's when Sean and I started to get cool. So he's like, yo, I'm going to the studio, we going in the Ville, you know what I'm saying, come up. It wasn't pull up, it was like come through or whatever he said, right? So we go through, I'm listening to the joint, Sean's writing his verse, it's just super cool, like we're in the studio, we bugging, vibing, and he like, yo, you want to get on this one? I'm like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's Babu is dilated and Sean Price. I write the verse, we go back and forth, crazy, super dope record. But, like I said, we was in Brownsville. We wasn't at, like, Dan and Man studio. We was in the hood. And the record got lost. We never got to get the record to Bab. The session got lost. That version never came out. I ended up doing something with Babu way later on. Obviously, Sean continued to work with him. But I just remember, like, I was so excited and geeked about it because it was going to be, like, one of my first looks outside of the stuff I did. It was kind of like that stamp of, you know, like kind of solidifying, like I was
for sure.
And then the session got lost because that's what happens when you record at your man crib
at the hood rat, B. You know I mean? Yeah, B. Yo, give me a chopped cheese. I got this, B. I'm gonna mix this when you come back. I'm gonna send the email. Yeah, I got
email it. Never happened.
So, you know, you grew up in a different time, of course, and now there's the good love and good blessing of having a daughter who grew up and now she's a fan of anime and a son who's a gamer. You know, these are like kind of, it's cool that, you know, you could say they're not in the streets being knuckleheads like we were, right?
Right.
But how stimulating is that to see, you know, those books and him, you know, with all these things that are keeping his attention? And does any of that attract you?
I mean, I'm definitely always just kind of interested in seeing what my kids are into. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my daughter, she has a few different passions. You know, my son, his passions. So it's just dope just to see the young people develop into themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're your kids. You know what I'm saying? But they are also their own people. And, you know, like my son likes to hoop and he likes to play Fortnite and 2K. And, you know, my daughter's into music and, like, fashion. And she's, like, she's got her own style. And she's, like, super dope. So it's just ill kind of watching them develop into young adults that seem to be raised well and seem to be decent human beings.
That's beautiful. So you think the Redskins should change the name of the team to Meta World Peace? Is that what you're going with?
It should change it to, well, what is Meta World? I don't know.
Yeah, he changed it now again for like the fifth time.
Yeah, he's not. I think he went back to Ron Artest at one point.
Or the
they
Washington.
Should change it to the Washington Artest.
The Washington Yasin Bays, fam.
The Washington Wales.
Yo, so last one, well, one of the last ones, a comedian could tell a story 50 times on stage. When they get it, that's when we see it, and it's called Delirious, Raw, or Netflix special. What is a career story that you have in this industry that you've said a couple of times and you kind of like got it good?
That's a great question. What is one of those stories that I've said multiple times? Taylor, what's my go-to? What's my story that I'm always telling? Oh yeah, I did tell that one a couple of times. When I why would you bring that one up?
Thank you, Tay.
When Michael Jordan gave us cigars and I didn't know how to smoke cigars, and so I threw up right there. right next to his nice Michael Jordan shoes. Yep, threw up right there. And I had to get carried out of VIP by Big Black, and like it was just one of those amazing nights in hip hop. Yeah, that's a story that I never told that story because it was so unbelievable. And then I got people that were actually there that could corroborate the story, and so it started to come out more and more. But yeah, that definitely happened.
Wow, so the elusive Michael Jordan in the sense where early in the 80s he was embracing of hip-hop heads, and then it kind of went 90s where he was like, fall back, Redman, hold on, Prodigy.
Right,
you know?
I got this new Kenny Lattimore.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get in the situation, and there you go.
And ruin it for hip-hop again.
You Barf Simpson, James Earl Jones, Earl Jam.
I did it. Hey, I'm
right next to his patent leather Jordans.
Absolutely.
While he has a suit on.
That was like an amazing night though, because like what better way to cap off your night like you partying with Jordan and Gina and Dominique Dawes and the Bus was there and T.O. was there. Just like it was just crazy. Like smoke a cigar the wrong way, throw up, and get carried out of VIP.
There you go.
Hard Rock Cafe. That's ill, bro.
There you go. Before I get to the final one, do you have any more gems, brother?
I got so much shit. Like
good, yes, good. Because you told me you didn't have, and I was okay.
I got a bunch of shit. I was because it's for you, Destroy. So you were talking about my son who likes to play video games, but he not up on this though. Original Nintendo.
Come on, y'all.
Come on, man. You see the burner?
What?
The Duck Hunt
burner? The Barrel Brothers.
You see the single barrel? You know what I'm saying? But nah, this is an original Nintendo. It does not look good on that big ass TV right there. Nope.
It's old, bro.
Translate well.
Come on, y'all. If you guys ever gamed on a Nintendo, you gotta hit them diamond emojis. Let's go. Show off your gems, Torae. I'm Destroy. Let's get it.
I mean, you gotta have that. You gotta have Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers.
Come on, bro. You gotta.
You know so OG cartridges. Taylor, all right, I need your help now, Taylor. What do I have on the couch over there? Give me that plastic bag right there.
Let's get it. The plastic bag, fam.
We New Yorkers, right? You go to the store, you go to the bodega, you get you a plastic bag, your stuff, you leave with it. But when Tribe Called Quest puts out a new album and you go get Tribe Called Quest merch, you get a Tribe Called Quest plastic bag.
Yes!
Q-Tip, Spike, Jerobi, Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Look at this, bodega corner store Tribe Called Quest bag. That is fire.
Come on, y'all. That is definitely fire right there. Let's get it.
What else I got? What else? Oh, pass me that vinyl. Pass me that vinyl. So if you know anything about me, one of my favorite rappers is Ricky Walters, a.k.a. MC Ricky D, a.k.a. Slick Rick the Ruler.
Yes.
Original Slick Rick vinyl from 88. Beat up as hell from 88. Signed, though. Signed
Love
by
it.
Ricky D.
That's
Slick Rick.
That year solidified my love for hip hop, B. Right there, 88. So much fire, man. Salute. Wow, Slick.
You're not a true New Yorker. You didn't grow up in New York City if you didn't collect basketball cards. Look how thick this book is, full of basketball cards.
Oh my God. See you.
So that's my John Starks page.
Yo, you're a liar, bro.
Anthony Mason, Ewan Oakley, like, come on, B. You see these fleet cards, man. You see these tops, these upper decks.
Woo!
So this is my basketball card collection. I don't know, it's probably like 700, 1,000 cards in here. Crazy.
Wow.
I'll take that.
Will you ever give the Brooklyn Nets your heart or nah? It's weird.
Oh yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I can't. I'm just, they weren't even a team. They didn't exist. They didn't exist. Original nameplate belt buckle. So yes. I've since lost the belt because I realized that it was not real leather, but the belt buckle remains. This is my Torae belt buckle. Did you have the nameplate belt buckle, D?
Yeah, but mine was the whole thing was one big piece of metal, and
I'll take this
salute to anybody who had Ninja Stars.
Yo, Ninja Stars official. Yo, do you remember this belt with the bottle caps? The bottle cap belt?
Is that like if you worked at Denny's or Applebee's?
This was just, I remember being in Harlem. Shout out to Jim Jones and Cam and them. When I used to run with Cam and Jimmy and them, Jimmy had this belt. I thought it was the flyer, like the buckle was a seat belt, right?
Ooh,
so like,
okay.
That's the buckle, and I just thought it was the flyest belt of all time. So I still have this. I don't know why, but yeah, shout out to that.
But that's fire. I love it.
Speaking
I love it.
Of my time with Dipset, so some people know, some people don't know. That was really like part of my entry to the game, is being down with Cam and Jimmy and them. And when you get with rap crews, sometimes you get a chain, sometimes you get a tattoo, and sometimes you get a jersey. So this is my actual Diplomat jersey, SDE. That's when Cam was promoting SDE.
Yes.
It got my name, Torae, on the back.
Wow.
Of course, I'm going to rep the 718, even though I was running with the Harlem guys.
Fire.
So this is my Diplomat. This is my Diplomat jersey.
That's beautiful.
As we go through more apparel. You said what? Okay, I'm going to get to that one, too. This hoodie, right, it says the Execution versus Double Barrel tour.
Okay.
So Marco and I did Double Barrel. Marco and Rusty did the Execution, and then we went on tour in 2010. So this hoodie is 10 years old.
Wow.
And what it has is all the European dates. And this was like one of the biggest tours for me at that time. Me, Marco, and Rusty were out for like 30 days. So we did we got Berlin, we got Munster, we got the Netherlands, we got Brussels, we got Austria, Slovakia, Poland, France, Italy. It goes on and on, but I remember, shout out to Mom Feeders, Tim and Dan. They were the tour managers, and they made us these really dope hoodies.
Love it.
Always kept mine.
Love it.
Something
Kid from
else
Brooklyn.
I kept, speaking of Brooklyn, was my one-of-one Walker-wear track jacket. Shout out to April Walker. She made me this track jacket when I was hosting the Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival. She asked me what colors I wanted. She took my sizes, and I got the pants, too. Pass me the pants. Yeah, this is my track jacket. It's a one-of-one. Mad people hit April about it. Yo, can I get that? I love that. And she was like, yo, I did it. I did it for tour. So I'm gonna bring this one back.
Guys, if you know Walker-wear, this is Onyx, Naughty by Nature, Thorough logo.
Yeah, Master J,
all of that.
Big Pop, Aaliyah, crazy. You know what? As we talking about classic MCs, man, and I want to send some prayers out to the diabolical Biz Marquis.
Yes.
You got this D, the puzzle?
Yes. This right here, right now, salute to everybody in hip hop that's out there consuming more than just music, but just part of our culture, because that right there is a part of it.
This is a 100-piece collectible puzzle for the Biz Never Sleeps cover. And I also got Kool G Rap and DJ Polo.
Wow. So you understand that cover, right? Do you understand that cover you're looking at? That Kool G Rap? So
what am I missing?
So they're holding a piece of meat.
Right.
The cops are in a noose, standing on a chair.
Yep.
And the dogs are tied to the chair.
Yep. So
once the dog goes to the meat, the cops get hung.
There you go. Ah, got it. Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize the chains. That's amazing. Intelligent Latinos of America.
Yo, could you put it closer so people could, so when they have a chance, they can Google this image, see this?
Google this image. Like, that's so dope.
A lot of people didn't figure, but yes, that's how beautiful this game and culture is.
I also have two more of them. I got the Masta Ace Incorporated. Shout out to my brother
Salute Ace. Love it.
And I got the Criminal Minded. Shout out to Get On Down. They did these some years back, and I needed to make sure that I got them all. Shout out.
Nice. That's beautiful.
What else I got over there, man? Oh, we're talking about sports. So I got a signed football from New York Giants legend Carl Banks.
Carl Banks.
Yeah, this is Carl Banks. I got to get the case for it, but this is official. Shout out to the Giants.
I am a fan of the only true.
They carry them? They're super heavy.
I'm the fan of the only true New York team.
What is the true New York team?
Buffalo Bills, fam.
Okay.
And the reason why? Because of Kool G Rap, Erased Racism video. He wears a Buffalo Bills hat.
The Bills hat.
I thought it meant bills, like money. And then they went to the Super Bowl. I was like, whoa.
That doesn't make any sense. We were talking in the interview about my album with Marco Polo. So this is something that people always ask me to buy from me. These are test press. Right. So anytime you do vinyl, for those that don't know, anytime you do vinyl, they make a test pressing or 2 or 3 so that you can listen to it and make sure that everything plays out correctly. And this is one of the test press from me and Marco's album. This, so the album came out in 2009, so this is 11 years old now. And the cool thing about it is this sticker that's on here, right? Yes. Is the original sticker where my name goes first. It's Torae and Marco Polo double barrel.
Not that Canadian nonsense.
So when the album actually came out, it was Marco Polo and Torae.
Yo, bro. Because he's a white, that's why?
That's pretty much how it
Yo, bro, what's going on?
No, E1 was Doug Down's distributor, and Marco had put his album out on Raucous already, and so he had more buying power. You know?
I dig it. I mean, welcome to the game.
Welcome to the game.
But you listened to him though, because from what you said, that's how Double Barrel was created. From
Marco produced it. He really produced me. You know, he made the music, but he also produced me vocally. You know, so you gotta say that he would basically just make me mad before I went in the booth, and that's why all the records sound like that. He'd say some shit to piss me off, and then start recording. So I have test press for all of my albums. So this is Double Barrel. This is For the Record. You know, my album that came out in 2011, For the Record, my debut. So I got the test press for that. And I think everyone is in here. So every other album entitled Daily Conversation, I have test press for all of them. And people always ask me, can they buy them? And I'm like, no.
Nah, I mean, that's the product. That's the freaking, the acetate, the original.
The original.
Salute to Marco Polo. Definitely the face of Double Barrel.
That's absolutely right. Oh yeah, you can bring me those.
Yo, I love it. C-Tor, you was like, D, I don't really got much, and you killing it, bro.
I didn't have shit like out and about. Like I said, like once I finished my basement, I have all my shit like.
I hear you.
I just had like shit like in different places. So you remember the Flood watches?
Yes, I do.
So this is the Boombox Flood watch. Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Doug and shout out to Mel.
Yep.
So I had 20 million flood watches. Any flood watch they ever put out, I got. But I also got my very own watch done. They actually did a Torae watch for my project Heart Failure that came out in 2011. And this is the actual, my own watch. It got my name on it. It got my name like in the face. And it came with 3 different bands. It came with like this red one with the heart on it. It also came with a black leather one. And then it came with a metal band.
Wow.
I got like a zillion. I still got a zillion and one flood watches. Like all of
That's beautiful though. That's awesome because it's inspired by a kid from Coney Island who went to Dewey. Who's this?
This is the turntable one. That's the flood watch, the turntable one. So all the DJs was walking around with the bulky wrist back then.
Yeesh.
You can take that thing. What else is over there?
Fire.
I'll take this. We were also talking about the movie The Breaks that I was a part of, and the record label that Wood Harris ran was called Foray Records. And he wore the bucket hat, the Foray bucket hat in the movie. Wood Harris wore these joints, and so here's my Foray bucket from The Breaks.
Torae!
Yeah, Torae Foray, you know what I mean?
Yes!
Shout out to the legend Wood Harris, one of my favorites. I already did test press, that's cool.
Nice.
You know what? Yeah, you can take that thing.
Wow.
So people know me from SiriusXM Hip Hop Nation, and I have a tons of guests on the show. And one of my favorite people to have on the show, one of my favorite people to talk to, was always Nipsey Hussle. You know, we lost Nip some time ago, and for the last show that we did, I got the poster board from the show. So it says hosted by Torae and Grey Rizzy with Nipsey, and I got a signature there as well.
Wow.
The neighborhood. Also got like the interview, video, audio. I got some drops from this. So,
for sure.
You know, just able to keep his name alive. And anytime I want to hear his voice, you know what I'm saying, outside of the music, it's something there. What else?
It's really good. You know, it's definitely great in that light for Torae to be in on SiriusXM because, you know, it's good to see a different side of an artist, you know?
For sure. Do you remember these boom book bags?
Yes. Oh, is this Osiris brand or what brand is this?
This is Fi High was the company that I got it from, and this shit was just, it was dope. Like, it was a dope bag. I used to attach my iPod to it, and I would play music from it. And then I wanted to make it even more hip hop, so I ordered a delicious vinyl patch, and I sold that on. So I would carry this bag around. Let's see what's in here.
Salute to everybody who drinks every time I hit this harmonica. I know you guys are drunk already, but this is what we do on Show Off Your Gems.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, nothing special with here.
But yes, that is definitely dope for even for an MC who's trying to get his name out there, because that's what I used to do. Have my joints play and be over at Knitting Factory and, you know, giving out stickers and all that stuff. So
giving out stickers. This is the double barrel cover that came out. Marco's name is first, and my name is second. They also altered the photo a little bit. So the small stickers are the original ones, and they're very rare. And I probably have like 6 or 7 left in my possession. They're definitely like a collector's item, because this is the one that everybody has and everyone saw. This is the one that went out with the albums. But the original one with my name first, those were the ones. I also have stickers For the Record. This was my debut album I dropped in 2011. This is like, they look like pieces of vinyl, so I had the vinyl sticking up all over the city. I always like to do stickers, man. Like, that's just part of the culture. And even as an indie artist, and even kind of making my own budget, I always allocated, you know, money to have stickers, like POP shit, you know. So it's had like the album date in stores, 11/1/11 For the Record. First single, That Raw, produced by Pete Rock, including production by Diamond D, Ninth Wonder, DJ Premier, Ill Mind, you know, shit like that to get people
of course,
to make people go to Fat Beats and buy your shit. What else do we have? Should I do the jerseys?
Yeah, bro.
How much time we got, D?
We got 6 minutes.
We got 6 minutes?
8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Can you grab them for me, Taylor? If you can't carry it. Oh, you know what? While we wait on that, this is something I'm super proud of, though, man. The Brooklyn Borough President, Eric Adams, gave me a citation last year just for all the work that I do in the community, giving back, you know, being an artist, an entrepreneur, and all of that. So I actually do have this frame. It's my citation. You see the seal with my actual
beautiful.
name on it.
Congratulations.
Stupid shit that I've done in my life. Stop making people drink.
Getting wet in the fire hydrant.
Important. You get citations for that. All right. I actually just got these back, and I don't even know how to open it. It's ginormous.
Oh, here we go. A revealing, an unboxing.
Yeah, we got it. I think that's the back of it.
Explain, you know, tease us a little bit, like.
Well, we already talked about our love for sports. We already talked about Big L and his classic quote, right?
Yep.
And you know my team, right? You know I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan, so it's only right. This jersey is my man Jamal Crawford. Shout out to Jamal Crawford. When he played for the Knicks, I was always a big fan of Jamal Crawford. Funny enough, he plays for the Nets now. But this is his joint. Wow. Signed and autographed. I don't know if you can see the autograph. It's somewhere on one of the ones.
Yes, yeah, I see it. Wow.
But it was crazy, man. We met on social media. We met on Twitter. He one day he tweeted about a song of mine. He was like, "Yo, this song Torae and Fonte is crazy." And I saw the tweet, and I was just kind of like bugging, like, "Oh shit, I'm a big Jamal Crawford fan." And ironically, I had made a post about him maybe like 2 weeks prior on Instagram. So he doesn't have an Instagram. But I sent him the post I made about him. I was like, yo, I was heartbroken when you left New York. Long story short, I was a fan. He was a fan. He was like, yo, I'm going to be in New York in a couple weeks. You want to come to the game? He got me tickets to the game. So anytime he was playing against New York or Brooklyn, he would take care of me with seats and all that. So he signed, you know, I already had a jersey. He signed my jersey. And so I just got that joint framed. Say, can you bring the other one?
The other one? Yes! Yes, this is Show Off Your Gems, hip-hop memorabilia, and more sports memorabilia. We got all types, you know, WWF toys. We got the Bart Simpson phone. Was that
the Iron Sheik?
Yes, bro. We don't play on this show. Let's get it. All right, what we looking at now?
So I got another jersey. I had to get a couple of them framed. As I'm finalizing, like I said before, I'm finalizing my basement. So I'm starting to get my memorabilia and stuff situated the way it needs to be. This is just one of my favorite players of all time. Lakers great, Laker champion, Showtime, part of that Showtime Lakers. Entrepreneur, multiple business owner, very rich guy. He also happened to beat a damn deadly disease somehow. Irvin Magic Johnson. Signed. You can see that number 2 is signed there. Also, with his card going against Larry Bird, I got it all autographed and signed in here. So shout out to Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite players of all time. That is an amazing dance you were doing, Destroy.
Wow, bro. Woo! Diamonds, fire emojis. This guy, Torae, was like, D, I don't know, but look, he killed it all the way through.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, I said, I gotta go through some of these boxes and these crates, because it's you. If it was anybody else, I was like, no. So I made a big mess. I don't know who's cleaning this up.
Take a picture and send it to me of the mess, please.
Yeah, this is a big mess here in the living room.
Listen, if I can ask you, what is it from when you was a young kid in Dewey, when you was positive and when you went with all those wild names to now, today, that keeps a smile on your face and keeps you going, grinding, and hustling?
My most precious gem, man, my family. You know, my kids, my wife. You see, Taylor was my assistant. That's my my number
Tay
one.
Tay.
My son, he's exhausted from playing video games all day, so he's
love it.
But you know, my wife, man, she keep everything together. She keep the family together. Like that's the most precious of all the gems. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me motivated. That's why I do it all. You know, I just want to make sure the fam is good.
Well, Torae, with that being said, I gotta tell you, young man, I love you. Thank you so much for not only being a part of this, but also being a great individual. As that's how we started this show. Stay amazing, and that lets us know and lets me know that you're a gem. So, you know, continue your hard work and continue being amazing. And everybody that came from Torae's side, he is a great individual, and keep rocking, my brother.
Shout out to the tribe. My tribe is here, man.
You made me proud, bro. You definitely, like, bro, you killed it today. Like, seriously, like, he was like, nah, D, I don't know, man, but
here we are.
Here we are, bro. Look at this, man.
Rest in peace to my brother Sean Price.
Oh my God, yo, you know what?
You know, Carr from his homegoing service.
Yes, that is, man. Oh man, that's a great one. Thank you so much for showing that right here on Show Off Your Gems.
Yo, wait, how much time we got? There's one
Bro,
more thing
we got literally less 1:30, a minute 30.
A minute 30. All right. We gotta have this. Yo MTV Raps cards.
Yes.
I got actual Yo MTV Raps.
In the box.
In the box, still in the plastic, sealed up. The gum is mad stale, but I know it's all in here. And
yo, let's do this last one. Hold the Sean P card. This is the Rock Raiders service, funeral service. How hip hop is this, y'all? Screenshot this, post it on your stories, y'all. Torae Destroy, show off your gems. Oh, how hip hop is this? I love this moment. I'm living in this moment right here, right now. I love
rest
both
in peace
these
to the great. Rest in peace to the great. The great Malik B today too passed away,
yes,
man. Rest in
yes,
peace to him.
definitely, guys. These are soldiers. These are people who kept the culture amazing, and we continue their legacies on things and platforms like this throughout our careers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We are down to the last couple, so listen, everyone. Weekdays, show off your gems, and he's got his live at 5 that he
live
does.
At 5. Get with me Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern.
And I do it 7 p.m. Show off your gems, and it's been great. I love you, Torae. You stay amazing. Tay, keep rocking. Let's go.
My man. My brother, thank you so much for having me, man.
You got it, my brother.
Peace and love, y'all.